Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be talking about Queen Musia. It's a brand I have talked about before. I have shared some of their lipsticks as well as their Hydro Bombs, which are amazing, and their mascara. But they just sent me, they came out with blush and bronzers, and they sent me all the shades. So I have all 5 shades of the blushes. I will be trying all 5 out, and so you can see how they look on the skin. And also they send me all 3 of the bronzers, so I have all 3. I'm not going to try all 3 out. I did swatch them, so you'll be able to see what the colors look like on my skin, but the lightest shade is the shade for me. I've actually already put it on my eyes, but so you can kind of see it, but I will be putting the lightest shade on, but I'm not going to try the medium and the dark because it's just not for me. But these are really nice, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's first talk about the packaging. You have the boxes here, so the blushes are in pink, the bronzers are white boxes, pretty pretty standard. And then the packaging for each, this is the packaging for the blush. You can see it's got the little palm trees there, Queen Musia, and then you have the bronzer, and you can see these are white, and it's got the little pool there, palm tree. So I like that you can tell. So if you get one of each, you can tell which one's the bronzer, which one's the blush. However, if you get all 5 blushes, you will have to see on the back what the name is. So that's not too bad. There's only 5 shades, so it's not too bad. And usually people aren't buying more than maybe 2 shades of blush, but usually people, I think, buy 1. So, but if you buy the blush, what I do like is that if you buy the blush or the bronzer, you can tell between them. So that is the packaging, really nice. I like that it's pretty compact. They feel pretty hefty. So I love the packaging of the lipsticks and the Hydro Bombs. It's just stunning. But these are they're pretty hefty, pretty thick, and then you do have a mirror inside, and I still have the little protective cover on it. Then you have the embossing here where it's Queen Musia. It's on both. Just really nice packaging. These are made in Italy. They also are talc-free. So let me read about the blushes. It says it's a hybrid formula that combines the staying power of a powder with the comfort of a cream blush. This blush is long-wearing, buildable, and has a lightweight texture that blurs and reduces the appearance of imperfections while giving a seamless pop of color to your complexion. So you can see here, it feels like a powder. I'm not going to say it feels like a cream, but it is just a really smooth. I already did swatches, but you can see it's just a really smooth, powder blush, but it's silky like a cream, if that makes sense. But it doesn't feel like a cream. It's not like a cream to powder. It just feels very silky. So I do really like that. So I'm going to tell you what the colors are, and they didn't have a description. So I am going to give you my description. I think, just how I see it. And then I'll show you how the swatches are. So the first one is Mid-Century Pink. This one I would say is a nice, cool pink. This one is Trousdale Sunset. I would kind of say this is like a mauve-y pink, kind of like a mauve-y, deeper pink. And you'll see the swatches in a second. Next up is Portrait of an Artist. And I would say this is a nice, bright coral. This one is $19.99, and I would just describe this one as a nice nude, which is kind of the 90s vibe there. And then this one is called Pale Fire, and I think I would describe it as like a burnt red or almost terracotta. It's definitely the deepest tone. I'm going to have to go light-handed with this one, but it's really pretty and very unique. So I did do swatches in natural sunlight, and you can just see here, so from left to right we have Mid-Century Pink, then Trousdale Sunset, Portrait of an Artist, $19.99, and Pale Fire. So you can see all 5 colors are very, very different. So even if you wanted to get all 5 shades, you are going to get 5 different looks with each of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try all 5 shades on each cheek. So I'm going to do 2 at a time, and then I'll finish up with 1 shade. So I'm going to do Mid-Century Pink and Trousdale Sunset. Those are the 2 kind of pinky shades, so I will do those. Then I'm going to do Portrait of an Artist, which is the coral, and then the Pale Fire, which is like that burnt terracotta or burnt red. And then I will finish up with $19.99. $19.99 is definitely going to be the one that I am going to gravitate for. It's like the nude shade. It's kind of like, it would be my go-to. do. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first up is going to be the Mid-Century Pink. This I think is the lightest shade. So I do have two of the same brushes. These are the Sigma F10, so I have one of each. So I will be using this to put the blush on. And I'm gonna go pretty light-handed at first, even though this one is the lightest shade, because I do want to kind of just show how it can layer. But really pretty, goes on really, really nice. Like I said, it is a really nice, even when I swatched them, they swatched really nice, obviously with the darker shades, you know, you can kind of see, but this goes on really nice. It's a really pretty pale. This is not my favorite type of shade. I'm not a pinky girl. I'm more of a peachy nude girl, but I am gonna go a little heavier on this one just so that you can really see the shade. But I think this is more for lighter skin tones, maybe light medium, but it builds up really nicely. So that is going to be Mid-Century Pink. Next up is going to be the Trousdale Sunset, and if I mispronounce any of these names, I apologize. I am really bad at that. So, because there's always somebody, especially with this brand, I usually mispronounce the names on something. So this is, I would say, is like the mauve pink. That's the only thing I don't like, is that sometimes the brand doesn't really have the descriptions of the shades. So I wish there was a little bit of a description. You can kind of see where it comes from, but I like knowing what it means. So this is definitely a brighter pink. I'm gonna build this one up as well, but I'm going light-handed at first, but I am gonna build it up. So this one, like I said, is more of a mauve pink. Okay, so I'm curious when I go to edit this, how these are gonna look different. But I mean, I definitely see a difference, but when this one's built up, you know, I think they're very similar. This one I went, you know, I went heavy on this one, I went lighter handed on this one. But again, so this is the Mid-Century Pink, and then this is the Trousdale Sunset. So these probably are the closest shades. I just think also if you are light medium, maybe you'll go for this one. And if you are dark, deeper skin tone and you want a pinky shade, then you're gonna go for this one. But they're very similar, so what I would say is you probably don't need both. Okay, so I have cleaned my cheeks, so now we're gonna go into the deeper shades. So this is going to be the Portrait of an Artist. This is the coral. I have cleaned my brush. This is definitely a bright coral. So we're going to go ahead and I'm gonna go pretty light with this and just see, but because they are pretty pigmented, but not too pigmented, if that makes sense. And then you can definitely buff it out if you go a little heavy-handed. I am putting a little bit more than I would normally do just because I really want it to show up on camera so that you can really see it, because sometimes the lights and everything kind of wash it out. So I do want you to be able to see, but you can see this one definitely was definitely more pigmented than the other two shades, and just because it's brighter. But I love it because it's one of the things I like is that it's a matte, but it's not very flat. So it's very blurry, but it's not very flat, if that makes sense. But this is the coral, this is Portrait of an Artist. And then the other shade is going to be Pale Fire. This is kind of, like I said, like the burnt terracotta red. It's just a very, like a brick red, I guess you could say. But really pretty, very unique, very dark. So I am going to go extremely light-handed on this one. It's definitely gonna be too dark for me. I think I could make it work if it, you know, if I go really light-handed, but this is one that I will probably end up giving to someone that's a friend that is darker skin tone than myself. But really pretty shade, you know, especially for someone that's a tan to deep skin tone, really pretty. So yeah, definitely too dark for me. Again, I can probably blend it out a little bit, but it's really pretty. So that is going to be Pale Fire. Okay, so just so that you can see a side-by-side comparison, this is going to be Portrait of an Artist, and then this is Pale Fire. So you can really see the difference. But again, I do like that they're matte, but they're not a flat matte. Really pretty. These are probably two shades that I wouldn't keep for myself. I think the last one, I do like the two pinks. If I were probably gonna, I think 1999 is gonna be my favorite. And then I really liked, for a pink, I really liked Mid-Century. And I usually don't like those shades, but these are really pretty, just probably not for my skin tone. Okay, and the final shade is going to be 1999. This is like the nude shade, the terracotta. this is kind of the warm shade. This is like totally up my alley. So I am gonna put it on both cheeks, but I'm just gonna show it right now on this one. But this is the one that I think I will like the most. I could be wrong, but this one is just kind of the one. But I was really surprised by the mid-century pink because I really liked that one as well. Okay, and here is a 1999, definitely by far my favorite. Not a surprise, this is just kind of the tone I like. And you know, I was kind of looking at my collection of what I have right now, and I really don't, like I have something similar, but I really don't have anything kind of in this kind of medium toned nude. I have like a really light nude, but this is kind of more of like a medium tone. So I really like this, and I'm excited because I don't really have anything like this in my collection. So very excited. These, I think I mentioned they are $28. So I think that is a great price, made in Italy, talc-free, really great price. Now these are, from what I can see, they're only available on the Queen Musia website. The Queen Musia is carried by Nordstrom, but these are not, or the bronzers are not on that website. So right now it seems that they are only on the Queen Musia website. I'm going to see if I have a promo code. I'll share that at the end if I do, and if I do, it'll be in the description box below. But $19.99 is definitely my favorite, and I also really liked mid-century pink for my skin tone. The other three shades are beautiful. You can definitely make them work if you have a light skin tone. However, they are a little bit deeper than I would prefer, and I'd rather not have to go light-handed. So the two shades that I were to pick, I like it because it's like a cool shade and a medium shade or warm shade. So two really great shades, and really gorgeous. So definitely worth, you know, $28, made in Italy, really high quality. I think they're great. Okay, so if I look different, it's because it's been probably a week and a half, 2 weeks since I originally filmed, and that is because when I went to edit, the last two frames that I filmed, or segments that I filmed, had no sound, and I just haven't had a chance to kind of refilm again. So anyway, I'm going to put some footage of me actually putting on the products, because I actually just filmed a separate video. But I do want to talk. So let's talk about the bronzer. And the bronzer is gorgeous. It comes in 3 shades, very similar formula. I don't know if it's exactly the same formula, but it feels very similar to the formula of the blush. So here is the lightest shade, and this is my shade. This is the Climate Gold. I think that's how you pronounce it, but this, I'm just gonna say this is the light shade. This is the medium shade, and it's Mulholland Drive. So I could probably pull this one off, but it is a little dark for me. And then the darkest is this one, and this is Cap Ferrat. I think that's how it's pronounced. But again, this one is way too dark for me. But let me go ahead and show you. These are some swatches in natural sunlight. Again, just kind of light, medium, dark. The light is really, really beautiful. So I'm gonna show you, here's some me putting it on. You'll see me trying to talk, but again, no sound in the video. But it went on really, really nicely. It is a beautiful powder, almost feels like a cream to powder formula, but it goes on really beautiful. And I remember when I first originally applied it on, I actually put a little too much, and it buffed out really, really nicely. It is a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. And I did actually, in that video, I put it on my eyes as well. So one of the things I love doing with bronzers, especially when I'm on vacation and I kind of just want a quick eye look, is I will use my bronzer as a transition shade. And that's always something you can do. And not all bronzers are great with that, but I will say this one, especially this light shade, is fantastic for it. So I really like the bronzer. The bronzer is $29. The blushes are $28. The bronzers are $29, and I think they are fantastic. Okay, so just to wrap up this video, a couple of weeks later, first of all, the packaging I think is great. And one of the things I love is that they're the same size, but you'll be able, so if you get like a bronzer and a blush, you'll be able to tell which one is which, because the blushes are pink and the bronzer is a white, and they have a little bit of a different design on it. Obviously, if you get 2 blushes, they're going to look the same, but the names are on the back, and they're actually a decent size. They're white, so you really can't see them that easily, but they're a decent size, so someone with my limited eyesight can actually see them. I hate when, you know, I find myself needing reading glasses to look at a lot of makeup products these days. But really beautiful products. The blushes I think are stunning. I think all 5 shades are very, I would say fairly different. So if you wanted to get all 5 shades, you absolutely could, but you definitely don't need all 5 shades. I absolutely love 1999. It's kind of, I can see that being a blush that I'm going to wear quite a bit, but I also loved Mid-Century Pink. Mid-Century Pink was the shade that I was really surprised that I liked as much as I did, and I really like that. And I've actually worn it a couple times since. I've worn both of those a couple times since I originally filmed this. So these are great. Again, $28. I believe I have a promo code, and I will put it in down here and then also in the description box below. And these are great, I think, and they're made in Italy, amazing quality. I think they're just fantastic. So if you're looking for a good, solid blush or bronzer and that has great quality, made in Italy, and that's under $30, which you're really not going to find a lot these days, definitely look up these at Queen Musia. They are fantastic quality, and if they ever post any sales, I will post it in my community tab. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.